Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Lane. We are going to be looking at the match day away to West Ham on Saturday. So we will have a look through injuries, formations, who we think we're going to have, and then we'll talk a bit about what we think the match is going to work out to for us as well. So first up, let's have a look at the injuries for both teams. First up, Spurs. We have a number of long-term injury players, i.e. we've got Kulusevski, Madison and Kuratakai. Dragusin would ordinarily be on that list, but it looks like he has returned to training and is maybe only a couple of weeks away from being included in matchday squads. So that's certainly a little bit of good news, not for right now, but certainly over the coming campaign. The Champions League will be kicking off very, very soon as well for us. So we're going to need that strength and depth, especially at the back line too. So it'll be good news in a few weeks' time, but just not today to face West Ham. Dominic Solanke's ankle injury is a possibility that he may be in consideration for the matchday squad. But given the fact that we have brought in a number of players before the window ended, it certainly would make sense that we have the depth there to cover the forward position, especially with Moani coming in on loan, that we give him an extra bit of time to actually fully recover so that when he does come back in and start to play again in the squad, that he is in fact fully fit for that and we're not at risk of another ankle injury or anything else popping up again for him. Basuma is also looking to be in contention for the matchday squad. But again, we have enough cover there that actually, if he is injured, let's let him recover so that we actually do need to sell him. We're not going to run the risk of that sale not coming through because there are a number of transfer windows still open right now. And those are areas where it looks like he may be going as part of a sale, especially with the Turkey window still being open. So let's not risk the income of maybe 15, 20 million on a player to bring into that matchday squad when we've got the likes of Saar, Bergval, as well as a number of others that can cover those positions too. So moving on to the West Ham injury side of things, German forward Füllkrug is out injured with a calf injury, maybe a number of weeks before he returns to the club. We also have George Urthy with an ankle injury, again, maybe only a couple of weeks away, but not looking likely to be in consideration for the matchday squad. And we've got the Brazilian winger Luis Guilherme out injured as well. He's been out for a long time since pre-season with a collarbone. Other than that, it pretty much looks as if they have a full squad to pick from for Graham Potter for the match day at home for them and away for us. So looking at that, it does kind of ordinarily would have looked at from a Spurs point of view that we are really going to struggle in terms of the squad and the depth. However, we have brought in a number of players over the transfer window, which has now closed. So what are we looking at in terms of our lineup? I think we'll go with Vicario again coming back off international duty with Italy. So he will be, no doubt, still looking reasonably fresh for that. We'll probably start seeing cup competitions where Kinski will start making a move in and out of that team and starting in those games and allowing Vicario to concentrate on the Champions League and the league itself, potentially with rests in between that. So Vicario in goal, don't see that changing anytime soon. Across that back four, we'll be looking at Porro at right back, Jed Spence at left back, coming in freshly minted from his debut for the England national team, and very well deserved for him as well, and receiving that legacy cap from none other than Harry Kane. So looking at the central defensive pairing, it's not going to change. While these two are fit, it is going to be Van de Ven and Christian Romero, with Danzo providing that cover in the back line as well. So back four doesn't really change for me. Destin Dogi is back, but I don't see him coming in and displacing Spence right now. Definitely one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League right now. So in terms of the form he's on currently, I don't see that changing anytime soon. But you never know with Thomas Frank. It may be an opportunity just to rest him up, especially if he's been out on international duty as well. Then we're looking at that midfield section. Not really any changes there in terms of Bentancur and Palinha. Those guys will still be our mainstay and probably for a good chunk of the season will be the two main starters as long as both are fit. But I think in that attacking midfield role, we will see Xavi Simons making his debut for the club in that attacking number 10 role. Really positive signs. He's been in training and has looked pretty good from all the footage that I have seen over that course of time. So really excited to see this one getting into the starting 11 and seeing how he plays in the Premier League. It's a really good, exciting time, I think, for the player as well as the fans for this one. In terms of our forward front three, I don't think there's going to be any change in terms of the right-hand side on the right wing. We're going to see Mohamed Kudus continue the fine vein of form of what he has shown so far since signing for the club. It'll be quite interesting to see what kind of reception he will receive from the West Ham fans. It seemed to be a mixed bag about him last season until he chose to come to us, and then it was all the other bits and pieces about Conor Majudas and all the rest of it. So we'll see what happens, but I don't see anyone displacing Mohamed Kudus on the right wing anytime soon, unless he needs a rest in game time. So then we are looking across onto that left-hand wing. I know Brennan Johnson seems to be the flavour of the month. He's scored a couple of goals over the last 3 games. He's played very well for Wales as well. However, I think with Kolo Muani coming into the squad, I think we might see him getting a debut on the left-hand side as well. So I'm going to put him down as my starter. But as I say, I think what we might actually end up saying is Johnson will start with him coming on at some point in the second half, or depending on how the game goes, despite any other injuries that might happen in game time. But I would like to see Moani start, but I suspect it might be Johnson. Up front, we are then looking at Richie to continue there. Frank's already said he is his first choice number 9, and certainly don't see that changing anytime soon, barring injury or if we're going to be playing any kind of lower league opposition in the cups, then we might see a change up front there. So I don't see Richie being displaced. So that's my starting 11, although I can see a number of changes, especially in that forward lineup, that could happen. We could end up seeing Xavi Simons move that out to the left. We could see Sarr continue that role in the number 10 slot, which he's done pretty much since the first 3 games of the season, and potentially Moani starting up front. Kudus, I don't think there's any real option there on the right-hand side. And then if you're looking in on the bench. So there's a lot of options there in terms of that attacking lineup, which is actually quite mouth-watering from a Spurs perspective. Certainly for me, I'm sitting looking at it, there's so many different types of possibilities at that front 3, even with the supporting number 10 into the back of front 4 for us, could be so many different players. But as I say, that's the kind of starting lineup I'd look at, although there are a number of nuances in which we could change it throughout a game that still gives us that attacking threat in going forward. So it's going to be an interesting game, I think, for us. I think we will win. I think it will be 2-1. But I think whatever way the game goes, it's going to be exceptionally tight. At the end of the day, Graham Potter and West Ham have a lot to play for. Potter is playing for his job right now, and there's a lot of negative things being said about him in the press, as well as on fan forums for the West Ham groupings. And if you look at the players, they really need to start performing a bit better for their supporters as well. Certainly for us, we've came in off the back of a 1-0 loss to Bournemouth at home, which really should have been a victory, but anything that could have went wrong for us in that game actually did. And it wasn't until later on in that game where we started to introduce in some of the other players off the bench that we started to kind of turn the tide a wee bit and came close a number of times towards the end of that game. It's an interesting one because Matthias Tel came on, hit that shot just wide of the post. As I said in the previous video, I kind of feel with Tel, all he needs to do is hit the back of the net with something in a Spurs shirt, and we might actually see a completely different player. If you look back at what he did for the French under-21, scoring 2 fantastic goals, it looks like he has taken that non-inclusion of the Champions League squad, and he's actually using it to focus on proving everyone wrong as to why he was the one that was left out, which can only be a good thing for us in the league, as well as the sort of home cup competitions as well. So I think we'll probably see an appearance of Matthias Tel at some point from the bench. But certainly for Spurs, it's looking very, very good. There's a number of different options that we can employ right across the board in terms of every section of the field, which will be strong replacements. But we're also looking at the ability to flex and change the formations depending on who we're playing on any given match day, but actually being able to change those formations when things start turning against us, or if we even need to up the pace a wee bit and just drive home some more goals. So yes, it's going to be a good game, I think, on Saturday. If you do want to watch it, it will be on Sky Sports at 5:30 p.m. UK time. So we are in for a good game. It could be a wee bit shaky at times, but I think with the international break, it's probably not a bad thing to come off the fact we lost the game at home, and certainly with another London derby and under the belt, and I'm kind of counting the Arsenal one in pre-season, I think we could do reasonably well here. So let's hope we can pile on the pressure, make Potter falter a wee bit in terms of the game being played, apply that pressure, get a couple of goals, and come home with the 3 points. As per usual, when the game is done, I will get out a video going over the match, doing a bit of analysis and talking about where we went right, where we went wrong, and all the rest of it. I'll maybe put out some club news stuff because there's a lot of bits and pieces that's going out at the moment, especially with Daniel Levy having left and us bringing in some more backroom staff as well to support Vinay Ventukesham in terms of his CEO role and what we're looking to do with the club going forward. But apart from that, we have the game on Saturday. Hopefully 3 points in the bag, a couple of goals. We'll see a few debuts and some really good football. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Drop a like on the comments down below. Share it, as well as subscribing to the channel. I will see you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.